Hello, dear sacred family of light. Wishing you a blessed Venus Friday and trusting you're doing amazing. And you always are from your higher essence. It just how happened to be when we are in this denser expression, sometimes we lose sight of that. So I wanted to share this video with you before the Summer Solstice next week. On my live stream on my Facebook fan page, I spoke a couple of days ago, right on the new moon, regarding the importance of us love workers and how to handle our immediate family with some of the challenges that we're facing, and the importance of self-love and being able to move forward, so not to be in this engaging in this retraction energy if there's no room for the love to flow. And I wanted to just take this back a little bit, and this is really a focused message for us StarSeeds. Those of us that know we are not from Earth, those of us that know we've incarnated on Earth many incarnations, and the attempt to bring the light to Earth that for a long time had been mishandled and best word I can say, kind of cut off. And so we seated ourselves on this planet, and we have been travelers through many different civilizations, many different galaxies, and we have our root race in other off-planet, let's say, how do I want to say this? Basically, we're not from here. We're from different civilizations, different parts of the galaxies, and the ones that we resonate with more. And one of our bodies is in the mothership, the other body is here, and we are very clear which lens we're looking through. And there is a disconnectedness with our physical vessel that recognizes this is just a borrowed vessel, yet we do have to take care of this vessel while our essence is doing its work through this vehicle for a very particular purpose. And we've also chosen StarSeeds, and the waves that start really coming in really around 1970s, and there was some pockets of it in 50s, 60s, and 50s, and some of the early ons were such as someone like Edgar Casey, or a few other ones that came after. But point being is that we StarSeeds came onto the planet to take on a body, and we're volunteer souls. We didn't have to return here, but we've come here, and we chose to take on a gateway to come into for a very particular purpose. But just about often, if you're in the wave of the, let's say, the blue ray coming in the 70s, or a little bit of the early 80s, and some of the other rays that came after, to come into very dense, very difficult, very dark families, and to endure quite a bit of trauma and drama and suffering and pain, so that we can transform that energy first within ourselves, so to experience that crystalline effect first ourselves, and then before we can bring it out into the world. And we came into these family dynamics that have been held by a sort of a field of quite a bit of darkness, where light has been missing, that has been operating from a matrix that has been missing the light, or the light codes. So here we are incarnating in here, bringing these spectrums through, and allowing ourselves to have a first direct hand experience, so that we can start to transform it through the transformational field with transformers. That's where people really enjoy being around, our energy field. And this energy field, just the closest one is about 6 feet, then it radiates out about 17 miles. And from there start connecting into the Earth's grid, creating the new unity conscious grid that is the dodecahedron and the icosahedron, which is the Christ consciousness grid, which is the crystalline structure, which is the gold liquid energy, which is the combination of the sacred divine feminine, sacred divine masculine, the feminine Christ and the masculine Christ as one unity of love, so that the fifth dimensional frequency can come in. But we've had a bit of a challenge for the streamline of the gold liquid energy to descend down, and also for we've been able to do a better job ascending the density up and allowing this descension coming down. However, it hasn't been easy for majority of us, and I feel that's where I'm very compassionate towards our starseeds and all the challenges that we've had to endure and face, but recognizing and the awakening that we've gone through in recognition that, okay, here we are, so many chips and implants and entities and things through our foods, through everything has been implanted, and through that power of our own light, our own golden energy in which we come from, we've been able to expand this out, start clearing our energy field, and then to be that beacon of supreme divine light here on earth, so that others can start to remember through one's own remembering process. So why I'm sharing this with you, because those of you that have followed my Facebook fan page for several years and on my YouTube channels, you know I speak a lot about this. I'm very devoted to the starseeds and then the bringers of light, the love workers, because we are here to emanate the love, and that's purity love. And because our emotional body has been so taxed and hit, and a lot of pain in there, so unfortunately a lot of us have also been pulled into, our energy has been pulled towards the shadow or towards the density versus staying completely in the light. And this is all also part of the process, because we have to know what that is to be able to start bringing it back, to start then taking charge, to feel the fullness range of our emotion, because we've had to see it on the mental plane, we've had to see it on the etheric plane, so we know it from the spirit, to then bring it into the physical plane so that we can heal all aspects of our physical vessel through the power of the true nature of our divine essence, through the spirit that we are in these borrowed bodies. And it is in this connection that we are able to bring it through our physical density, and through our walk on Mother Earth, connecting it into the different grids that are on Mother Earth. And it's very important to know the different grids. I've talked about this so much, but since the shift has taken place, it's very important that you're connecting to the fifth dimensional frequency of Mother Earth, the Ascension grid, and using your Ascension team to help you with this. And there's that part where your masculine energy has to step also through the power of your sacred divine feminine energy. So again, you're receiving from the horizontal and vertical axis in alignment, and all actions are coming from there. In which with the live stream I spoke about the importance of summer solstice coming up, that is part of this 36-year cycle. The 18 years, we've just about completing it by summer solstice, and then we start the new 18-year cycle. And this new 18-year cycle is the complete co-creation of the realities of the fifth dimensional frequency and consciousness through our heart center, which means this past 18 years we've been working through the clearing, transformation, our natural ayahuasca, the cosmic ayahuasca and the purification through the collective energy, shifting this fourth dimensional energy around Mother Earth. So we open the pathways and the channels so that they open up, and that's why there's a lot more of StarSeeds starting to speak light language and channeling the transmediums coming in, because we're starting, as these open up, we start to remember, and it bypasses that mental construct in which at one point our energy was focused on. As we open up, we start receiving straight forth. But again, it's very important our energy field is clear with our emotional body, with our physical body, with our mental body. So only the purest is able to interact with us. And the more this pure flame is able to interact with us, that is coming from our true divine nature, from our true terrestrial form, in our light form, and whatever ray that we are more in connection with. And that's what's bringing forth here. And each ray has its own signature or art that you're working on. For example, for me on this planet, the art of patience, the art of compassion are the two arts in which, and they have their own hero ray that I'm here to transform through the sacred divine feminine energy incarnation of the Magdalene Code. So to help create the Sophia Garden on our planet here. And that is the together energy with many others coming in that unison and that feminine Christ energy, the crystalline energy of that full collaboration with the fullness of the 12th ray. So why am I referring this? Because it's so important what's coming up in this summer solstice, and that fullness of the sun and then the dark and then the light in oneness, in recognizing the dark in us is important, not the shadow aspect. I'm talking about the dark, not the density either. There is this balance inside that constantly creates this dance, and this dance always has to work through our system. It is our own natural torus field, and it connects to the 64 tetrahedron aspect. It always has to move. However, not the density or the shadow, that's a part that it interferes and doesn't allow us to radiate the fullness. Now, our families play a part in this because we have to be able to rise. We have to be able to stand in our truth and not back down. And whatever that truth is, whatever it is, like for me, it's very important. I cannot support dishonesty. I cannot support, dishonor. I cannot support that manipulation. And when it shows up, I do stand up. And because I stand up, there's this sort of like a surprise, like how does Honey like stand up, and there's a lot of surprise element on that, because just my system, my soul recognizes that as a violation, and my entire auric field, it can no longer tolerate it. So that's why there's been a lot of that clearing up between friends and family members and colleagues and what have you. So everything is aligned in the purest flame to connect to the 144th grid through the Metatron energy of that perfect, because he is assisting us with the world and allowing this incredible Christ consciousness grid through the solar logos, through that central sun, and through all the different components of light and the team and the councils that are doing this, so that we can, through our Ascension team, be able to be really strong in our light and not back down, not to give ourselves to the density of the shadow. And the more we are able to be in the natural joy state, that means prioritizing the element of joy, whatever brings us joy. For example, for me is, I'll show you one part of the joy. We're in an apartment, but my little herbs and my bunch of flowers, and there's some more plants here. This brings me so much joy. I have a lot of orchids and rosemary. There's a lot more inside. And I communicate with the plants and the flowers so much, and hear the sacred tree, and I love being around the frequency field here, even though we hear some construction way in the back there. And it's very interesting. I live in a whole crystal field here. It's quartz crystals, and you can feel the disruption, but yet I continue to expand this and align with this frequency, align with my own frequency, so I can start to vibrate this and expand it further and further and further, and not allow myself from a place of self-love and that importance of joy to stay more in here and not get pulled into the shadow. And if I see the shadow, call upon the shadow. And if the heart of the individuals is open to receive from a place of care and compassion, then they receive it. And if they're, that includes family member. And if they're not, then they won't receive it, they'll reject it, and that's perfectly okay. Also honoring that, recognizing they're also part of their own journey, and I stay focused because there is a mission focus here. For us StarSeeds, we're here on a divine mission purpose, and we are coming into these embodiments with our family member, but we know our true family is not this. They're part of our soul family, but we were going to be reunited back with our other family. So here we are, and that's why when we meet each other, we're not bloodline, but when we see each other, we recognize each other, because that signature is so incredible. It's like this pure spark of joy and love, and we're like, wow, how come we don't have this with our immediate family, but we have this with each other? Because we are that family. We recognize each other from our extraterrestrial signature, and it's so beautiful. And our other bodies there, here we are in this body and doing what we have to do here, and that's why it's so important we come together to strengthen our fields of light together. Just like if you look at a spider web, creating that web even stronger, so less and less interference can come in. And the more you're able to be in your own joy essence, the higher you prioritize this, the more you're able to allow this radiance to move through you, do its work through you. And what it does also, just so that you know, through your meridian channels, through your endocrine system, through your different bodies, your 7 to 12 bodies, all the implants and chips that have been placed from vaccinations and the foods and holes in the earth field, they start totally repairing, because the gift of joy, that it's a frequency, and there's a science behind it, in which at some point when we transcribe the message of the Syrian High Council that last month, and my channeling with the Masters event in New York, when they came through, brought this message forward. For some of you that may not know, I'm a transmedium multi-channeler. Just the channel. So I'm able to have many different dimensions communicate for a period of time through me, but I'm a fully incorporated. That means I enter a full trance, and my whole vessel is taken over while this transmission comes through. But I have to be very careful who speaks through, so I'm a huge guardian of who's able to communicate through me. So having said that, the Syrian High Council, when they came through, they prioritized really the importance of joy. And while they were speaking through me, these 3 crystalline dolphin beings that were speaking through me, humanoid dolphins that were speaking, they were showing this sort of like the science of the rays of light through individual when they are in the presence of joy, and what happens to their own field, and how things are cleared from their own field. So I've been on this the last month, very much prioritizing it through this blue ray of light, and be able to, and of course I'm a blue ray myself, and to help bring transmute the density so that this golden frequency of the diamond light can come in on this planet. And And why this is so important, the more you're able to really put your energy field into areas that bring you the highest level of joy, you are dismantling this construct of the artificial matrix that was set here, that has been dominated and activated by sort of like a shadow. I just call it shadow because it's mystic light, and it's been used to control, dominate, manipulate, and because it feeds a different system that operates from fear and sadness and anger and all of that. But sometimes you're still experiencing it, and the more you bring in joy into your vessel, you're able to transmit all of those, your own chips and impurities through it. So one of the things is I don't do implant and all of that removal because I feel it's very important you learn how to do this yourself. You're able to be in nature. You're able to daily allow yourself that beautiful morning practice, and being able to really dive in, being able to bring the light through you and expand it through your whole field, and being able to bring it through your different bodies and spend this yourself, and also repair your own auric field yourself, because if you're constantly dependent on others, you're not going to be able to function properly. It's very important that you do this yourself, and also allow the transmissions to come in to start creating the fullness of the healing yourself, and nurture yourself from your foods. Your foods are such an important part of this. Your water is so significant. Pure water, blessed water, spirit water, crystalline water. Your foods very high vibration, and the blessings and the prayers around that, and bring all the frequency of the rainbow to yourself, so that you can radiate that, and just what happens is these chips and implants that are within the field, they just disintegrate because they can't, how do I want to say this, they can't exist in the frequency of joy and love. And once you open up the door of joy, you're able to experience gratitude, and you're able to be in the resonance and the vibration and the frequency of love. Not love on the third dimensional reality or fourth dimensional reality, but the fifth dimensional reality and higher, which is the divine love, the higher love, the higher aspect, the soul essence, your oversoul, that from that part, and also for those of us starseeds, our true terrestrial nature coming in. So recognizing these vessels, are here to do a work. This has to be taken care of. Unfortunately, many of us starseeds have also done a lot of damage to our vessels because of tremendous hurt, the level we could feel. And a normal person may feel something like this, and for us, the depth of it as this. And we've been also in families that have not supported us and not validated us and made us, if anything, feel awful and shameful. And as a result of it, we've had to find outer stimuli to numb ourselves. I didn't go through that. I didn't get into drugs or alcohol or other things, but I did develop very severe ulcer as a child, and just start eating because I didn't have the ability to express. And eventually I got a very rare virus that affected my thyroid, that led to my death, actual physical death. And but then I experienced the life after death, and I met the Golden Council of 12, that my Arcturian elder members, and they revitalized me and reshifted my DNA, and I met beloved Christ and beloved Yeshua, and he shared certain knowledge, and I was sent back to earth to help the others. So here where we are together, and I can only share from the lens in which is my own direct experience, and to help support my other family member StarSeeds, and knowing that we're here to support Earth, and then we go back, and it's very clear for me. In the meantime, we are with our Earth families, and we have to also help them. They're part of our Ascension, but we're not to be pulled into the shadow, but help them rise through the lens in which we can see if they're ready. And if they're not, that's okay. Still move forward, as I talked about on my live stream. Self-love is a very important part of this. And no violation to ourselves. No violation to ourselves because if somebody's made certain choice, they lied, cheated, whatever, to say you were the cause of it. Never. If you know special you have it, you stand in your divine truth because you have to answer to that. Anyway, so much love to all of you, and thank you so much for watching. The whole point of this is because we're going to solstice. It's a very important solstice energy the next 18 years. We have to co-create the new realities. It has to be fifth dimensional frequency, and it has to come from a place of joy. We cannot put out sacred energy into the old matrix, the old energy fields, into the old governments. Be very careful with politics and like voting and all of this. You have to raise your consciousness. That energy you give it, you keep feeding a system that is dismantling. Start putting your energy into the new reality, the new earth that is already here, that is love-based. Start putting your energy in the creation and allow the joy to come so that you can create from it. Create new ways of doing things. It hasn't happened, start doing it. Like there's a whole bunch I'm doing with Michael, and we pull out from the systems as continue as pull away from the system, start bringing in. So we have to create this, and we are the generation that is breaking all of this. And my children, for example, my oldest is 18 and my youngest is 15. They're coming in with a lot more frequency, and their children are majority all going to be all starseeds in the planet. And a lot of the starseeds that have come now, these younger ones are coming into a lot of families that can hold the frequency for them. Many of us are on my generation, about mid-40s, it wasn't though. Anyway, so much love to all of you. Much blessings. May this message support you, guide you, direct you to your own inner light and bliss, and may you just continue to serve from your divine essence. Aho namaste and Nakesh Bani Eshkash.